What is up, everybody? Dan and the Fireman here. This is going to be the last video of our live stream, but today's the last day to get this on sale using code GODRILL25. Put this on your handlebars, practice in a parking lot, become better at slow speed maneuvers, and don't make mistakes like these guys. So this video is 7 months old. We're going to redo it with the new information that we have because we've been practicing these live streams every week. We've gotten better. We're going to utilize the plan method and all the knowledge and experience that I've had from a firefighter of 11 years, MSF rider coach, accident scene management instructor, and all the curriculum that we teach at the MTC Rider Academy. So what happened here? I know I was talking, but were you paying attention? So we're coming up here. We have a sharp left turn. You can recognize that by the chevrons, those signs on the side. It's indicating that, hey, we're turning sharp left. Now, if they're closer together, it's sharper. If they're wider apart, it's not as sharp, but it's still sharp. That's why they have the signs there. So we're leaning over pretty well. This is going to lower our traction because now we're getting closer to the sidewall of our tire. So the best way to handle this situation is possibly slow it down before the turn so you don't have to lean so far. And sometimes people just lean far when they don't need to lean. So get practice, become better. Okay. Asphalt. So yeah, asphalt. Here we go. So our rear tire slid out from underneath us. We lost traction. This is called a low side. So we're going to have, based off a mechanism of injury, because we also teach, let's go ahead and bring this up, how to rescue injured motorcyclists with medical training. These are the principles that we've had here for years, and this is what we focus on as the DDFM crew. But mechanism of injury, we have that left leg, left arm. This is why we wear gear too. A is acquire and use personal protective equipment so we can mitigate these injuries. So we're going to go ahead and crash, and now our butt is going to be scraped up just a teeny tiny bit. So how do we rescue this person? First, we remain calm so we don't become part of the accident. Same thing with ensuring our own safety so we don't become part of the accident so we can help rescue. And we're going to stop any major bleeds. Very important. Become Stop the Bleed certified. I did that back in March as a refresher. Really good information, really quick 4-hour course. Really cool. You learn a lot. So it looks like he's doing fine. Not a big issue. Bike is doing fine. He's got some sliders here. That's going to keep the bike off the ground, and it's just going to be sliding on that, which is going to protect your bike. Well worth the investment, especially if you do crash. It just saved probably him a lot of money. Really heavy bike. Either put it in neutral or hold in the clutch so the bike rolls. But now we're going to move on. So probably open lane pattern, or this guy wants to switch over. Let's see what happens. There's the switch over. We're going to go ahead and position ourselves in a bad position for safety. So yeah, the truck does whatever they want to do. We also do the same thing. We also need to put ourselves in a better position and not hit the curb. So he's rolling around, not good. Nice little slow-mo. So we're coming up to here, and part of planning a ride, right, is we're going to put ourselves in a position for safety. We're going to locate hazardous situations. This guy's all over the place. This looks a little hazardous. Assess if he becomes a threat. He's in front of us, so we can modulate our speed and apply braking or deceleration with engine braking, whatever it is that we want to do to maintain this space cushion. But we're going to also navigate any active threats. If he slams the brakes and we're getting almost into him, we have to do something. We're going to have to do really good progressive braking to get ourselves out of this situation. So right here, we did a nice swerve, but we weren't paying attention to kind of where our trajectory was going, and we just went wide. So we probably target fixated on the curb or the grass when we should have target fixated up in here, but there was really no reason to be switching. We could have just applied a little bit of brakes and waited until that person was in the lane and then did something. But we didn't. And then we crashed. Now, is there more than one person, or did the camera fly off our head? I think the camera flew off. Because there we are. Camera must have flown off. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so high risk, high skill is needed for this. No gear. Let's see what happens. We went up and over, and now we're sliding with no gear. So road rash is a possible injury here.
We weren't even 10 minutes into this group ride when the truck on the left decided it couldn't pass us and wanted to cut my friend off instead.
It probably needed to get off on this exit, but we're blocking him. And that's okay. Okay, our group ride does not mean that we're just one really long car. We're all individual vehicles. So if somebody wants to go through, that's perfectly fine. This is why we talk to each other on our Bluetooth comm systems, which we use Cardo Pack Talk Edges here. And there is a link in the description for 10% off if you want to do that. If they're going to switch over, let them. Just let them. Not a big deal.
And wanted to cut my friend off instead.
Yeah, his voice is... Let them. Not a big deal. You're kind of blocking a lot. Do you want them to accelerate in front and then slam the brakes to turn? Do you want them to basically stop the flow of traffic? We don't know how long the line is, and then finally merge over or miss their exit. No, they're gonna do what they want to do. I think I might have done that, to be honest. I would have indicated and slowly moved over. Maybe did it a little bit sooner, but it's kind of frustrating. It's frustrating. All right, what do we got here?
Warn this rider of the approaching intersection.
Near miss. Anybody going to come out in their lane? Unmarked intersection. Okay. So there's the side of the vehicle. Good job with braking. You hear the ABS kick in. Let's go back. Hear the ABS. There's the ABS right there. ABS kicked in. So we have blind corners coming up. Now, yeah, it's unmarked. Can't see much. There's a line of sight issue off up in there.
From reacting appropriately.
As soon as you see the side of the vehicle, he perceived it, reacted, and applied braking pressure. So he did fine. This is good. We didn't panic. We didn't freak out. We're moving on. Didn't flip anybody off. Good job. Same person. Overtaking on a blind corner. Not a good idea. So reposition. Great braking. Good job with the braking. Look at that view. It's beautiful. All right, nighttime, we have hazards. We can't see much, so we're gonna go ahead and increase our risk by speeding. So once again, speed is typically a factor when it comes to crashes and close calls. So if we can regulate our speed, we're in a good position. So a turn came up out of nowhere, and we're going too fast for the turn, so we went wide, hit the curb, and crashed. And this is why as smart riders, we acquire and use personal protective equipment in case our skills and our understanding of hazardous situations fail us. So that means our brain and body failed us. Hopefully, external factors don't fail our body. All right, what do we got here? Looks like California. Yep. So it's a merging area with an HOV connector. I don't trust the fact that people stay within the lines. I just trust if people are near me. Oh!
That's me.
I think he hit a battery. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think he hit a... We saw this 7 months ago. I think it was like a whole battery in the... Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So very unfortunate. So he's doing a head check. He's doing everything correct, right? And this is why I say acquire and use personal protective equipment. You don't know what could happen. It could be a failure of just random failures, not your fault. A failure on somebody else losing a battery. There it is. Of all places, right? Of all places. So when we hit this, there is right shoulder, I'm sorry, his left shoulder. This is why we have armor in our gear. His head hit the ground. This is why we have a helmet. And you can see his pants. I don't think he had motorcycle pants. Look at those jeans and his butt. That's his shirt. So they tried to blur it out, but I saw... You can see, look at that, right in the middle, in his crotch. Just ripped right open. His pants completely ripped the moment it touched the ground. This is why with motorcycle pants and jeans, they have Kevlar or aramid fibers in the buttock area. So it will keep it together so that when you continue to slide or tumble, it will still protect your butt because you'll just start removing skin and then possibly flesh. Not good. Thankfully, that car did stop. Yep, to prevent anybody from hitting him. Very good. No, I just didn't know what was going on. We're just going to move on, though. Yep, blocking traffic so that nobody gets hurt. A secondary incident. It's very good. Nobody gets hit in the road. So we're going to move on from this. So EMS stuff. All right. Terrible situation, but how to rescue? There you go. Once again, we have that card that goes with the rescue pack if you want to buy that.
It's good to
What
learn
do we got here?
mistakes made by other riders, and here we have a good example how dangerous gravel is on the road.
Okay, gravel, loss of traction issue, especially in the middle of a turn. We went a little wide here, so we're going a little too fast to make the turn. We could have slowed it down before that, made more of a perpendicular, easier 90-degree turn, but we went a little too wide, a little too fast, so we had to apply the brakes to slow down onto a gravel road. Assault and battery. So yeah, we're going a little too fast. So how to handle this situation? Slow it down beforehand a lot more.
How dangerous gravel is on the road.
Because look, we're coming up to here. It's like, oh crap, we're going too fast. Now we're applying more and more brake, while the handlebars are turned and on gravel. We just don't have enough traction to make that turn. So slow it down a little bit more, especially when you're transitioning from asphalt to gravel. And there's not a lot of gravel where he could have, made the normal turn. There's gravel towards the outside where he went. Going a little bit high speed, in between traffic, high risk, lots of brake lights. What's going to happen here? Swerve, get out of the way. Yeah, that's gonna be the problem. Too much speed. You're gonna have to make quick adjustments. Sun in the eyes, open lane pattern. This vehicle is gonna come out in front of us probably. There it is. Apply the brakes, find a new position for safety. So right here, open lane pattern. Okay, our lane is moving a little bit quicker than the other lane. That car right there does not want to be behind the other vehicle. They want to get into a lane that's moving and also want to get into a lane that they have great vision. You do the same thing. You do the same thing when you're driving. Now, what you hopefully are doing differently are checking your blind spots. But here's the thing. We're in the blind spot. So if you recognize an open lane pattern, start looking around. Orient yourself. The whole part of planning is positioning for safety, right? And you're locating this hazardous situation. You're constantly going back and forth and then assessing any relevant threats. So in this position right here, let's go and bring this back up. It's going to disappear. There it is. I'm locating hazardous situations. I see an open lane pattern up ahead of me. That's interesting. If this is an open lane pattern, who's this vehicle? Oh crap, I'm in their blind spot. Let's go ahead and roll off the throttle so I stay out of their blind spot because they're more than likely going to switch over and I don't want to be side by side with them. So that's what you're doing. And so what I did right there was I located, assessed that it's a relevant threat. I'm going to do a quick little navigation of rolling off to put myself in a better position for safety. So it's a constant rotation. It's a loop. And then what we have here is that if we get caught out though, right? Same thing. We're still planning. We planned back there. Hopefully we prevented ourselves from being in this position. But if we are in this position, we can still plan right now. So we locate this hazardous situation. We're assessing and we're going to go ahead and navigate because he became an active threat going to hit us. Now we got to put ourselves in a new position for safety. In this part, the new position for safety is the escape path that we're going to take right here. That's going to be our new position for safety. Okay, now that we're right here, we're going to go ahead and plan again. Are we in a position for safety? No, we're on the shoulder. This is where a lot of road surface hazards are. So we're locating that this is a hazardous situation being right here. We're assessing that there's possible threats, but you know what? I'm just going to put myself in a brand new position for safety by rolling off the throttle, and I want to get there quicker, so I'm going to do good progressive braking to get myself behind this person so I can maintain a good space cushion, get back into my lane, which is going to be a better position for safety, and then I'm going to redo locating hazardous situations. I'm going to redo assessing. I'm going to redo making sure I'm in a good position. And how do you know if you're in a good position? We need at least one escape path. We need good line of sight, and we need a good space cushion. That's it. Space cushion in front of us, inside the sides. That's going to help understand what a good position is. There you go. So now right here, decent space cushion, okay line of sight. We have an escape path once again. We've already used it once. We can use it again. We're good. So we just did 3 plan loops, the plan method within just this one little video. And that's how you're constantly staying focused and zoned in on your safety. When you're riding, you start to predict these patterns, you start to see them, you start to respond instead of react last second, and then you stay safe when you're riding a motorcycle. You can also do this when you're driving a car. Might be a little bit harder to escape on a shoulder in a car, but you can do this.
I was coming up to this intersection at a nice
More TikTok, love it.
all of a suddenly my bike shuts down, and I go to bump start in the corner like an idiot, and my back tire locked up.
Pretty fast in that corner. He went pretty fast in that corner and might have slammed that rear brake to slow down.
Skid mark.
Whatever. All right. Hazardous situation, lots of vehicles. It's a merging area. We have somebody wanting to switch over. We're going to get ourselves in a new position for safety.
Driver really didn't like being honked at. And
Maintain a good space cushion. Very good. Now we're going to locate any other threats in hazardous situations. We're going to navigate anything that pops out. We're not going to create hazardous situations by escalating. We're going to focus on our ride. Good space cushion. We have a little bit of brake lights. We're side by side with this vehicle. Don't like it. I want to stay staggered, just like if we're in a group ride. We're in a group ride with other cars, just like if we're in a group ride with motorcyclists. Don't worry about this. Focus on front. You have a red light. Done. Dragon Rider Productions. All right, so she moved over. So you do sometimes have to escape by accelerating. So braking right now could cause some issues. You might run into the back of this vehicle. So he's having to accelerate through this small gap right here. So this is a red stage maneuver. If you don't know what a red stage maneuver, it's part of the MTC awareness stages. Yellow zoned in, orange, this is a hazardous situation. Red, we got to do something. And that's the whole part of plan. You can tell it's color coded, right? P is, we're going to constantly put ourselves in a good zone in position for safety. We're kind of on high alert and we're on active alert right here when it comes to navigating. So we found the escape right there, accelerated through, use the skill set of throttle control and slight turning, and then we're back into our lane. Nighttime, hazardous situation, people just can't see. We have also idiot drivers, possibly drunk, possibly on substances. We have a merge area here with the Cisco truck, but it seems like we're gonna intersect at different points, so we should be good here. Okay, our lane's moving. Guess what? I'm sorry. Let's go back to that. Our lane is not moving. The left lane is moving quicker. We are now participating in an open lane pattern. We are now in it. We're not witnessing it. We are doing it. You see? But now we're kind of stuck here. Good. Now we have good line of sight, good position. But what is this car doing? They're kind of all over the road. They probably don't know how to color within the lines, because they don't know how to drive within the lines. Let's see what happens. Yeah, what are you doing? So when it comes to positioning for safety, remember, we're looking for space cushions too. Not just line of sight. We have great line of sight and we have a great escape path right in front of us, but our space cushion is terrible. So what can we do in this situation? Just roll off the throttle to allow some engine braking, which will make it to where that vehicle maintains their speed. But since we're slowing down in our speed, it increases our space cushion. And at this point, guess what they're going to do now? They're going to get back into the lane that you're currently in because that car is in the right lane. Now we have a terrible space cushion, terrible line of sight, and we don't really have a good escape path. And this is why we start seeing these things ahead of time so we can maintain our position for safety. Okay, good line of sight. We have an escape path in a lane filtering position. We're switching lanes. We participated in the open lane pattern. They also did the same thing and cut us off. So if we do it, somebody else will do it. If we look for blind spots, maybe somebody else won't look for blind spots. But the base action here is people don't like being behind other vehicles. So anticipate that. Put yourself in another position for safety. It's another open lane pattern because we switched. Okay, what do we got here? Kind of boxed in. We're getting closer to this vehicle. We're going to put ourselves in a better spot, which would be, that's an escape. That person switched over because they didn't want to exit. If you notice right here, exit only. See that sign that's yellow? That's an exit only. Probably didn't want to exit. So be careful around merge areas. Merging areas, intersections, blind corners, or even regular corners is an orange stage situation where we're on high alert. So we have an open lane pattern. You see all those vehicles in front of this big, yep, there it is. They were paying attention to auditory, so they heard the horn, which is interesting because usually that doesn't happen, but they want to get back over. They just accelerated to move. This person, please turn. Make the turn, make the turn, make the turn. You got it. Maybe a little top heavy. Okay. Open lane maybe. No, we got some brake lights. Now we have a big gap in the middle. Oh, uncommon thing. Somebody's a little drunk riding the scooter. Drunk riding the scooter. If you want to help and rescue, that's fine. It's up to you. Do not pass on the right. Do not pass on the right. Don't do that. You have no escapes. Okay, so we got a corner coming up here. It looks like kind of sharp. Let's slow it down just a little bit. Almost didn't navigate that corner. That's why we go into orange stage. All right, another situation from Dragon Rider Productions. So this person wants to turn right, so do we. So we either accelerate through or allow them in. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. It happens. This is why in intersections, in any areas where people can make decisions on where they want to turn left and right, be very careful. This is why we have to constantly plan our ride. We're locating that is a hazardous situation. Are they a relevant threat? We don't know until they become an active one. Then we do something about it.
Thanks for watching till the end.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much, MotoStars, for having that video. But guys, with that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, catch me on the live streams, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week.